the AFC East standings when the day began. As we've established, the Jets got their victory. This is what things looked like when the day began. New England, by virtue of that win in Orchard Park, they are the leaders in the AFC East. And Drake Maye, an incredible one-handed grab, hand underneath the ball. That's his second pick of the day. And Maye, and he throws a beautiful deep ball. Kayshawn Booty.
All right, that's a booty call, the kids say.
That's awful. Sorry, everybody. Patriots get the victory, 32-13. You're saying to yourself, how are you going to show that highlight and not show he gets his own highlight? Show Myles Garrett. Matt Garrett's a different guy, Big Red. Myles Garrett, not one, not two, not three, not four, 5 sacks, 112 and a half career sacks, the most before turning 30 years old. He was taken out of the game, actually got furious about that. Afterwards, Garrett asked about the lack of offensive support on his huge day.
It doesn't get any easier. Each week you ask me, so.
How do you feel about your performance after? Does the loss diminish how you feel about your performance today at all, I guess?
I would throw the whole performance away for a win.
So New England gets the victory. Josh Allen and the Bills off a bye, which followed 2 consecutive losses. James Cook was quiet in the second half of that loss at Atlanta on Monday Night Football. He was into the end zone, 64-yard touchdown. Bills mixed the extra point. It really didn't matter. Andy Dalton had a rough day. Pass picked by A.J. Epinesa. Looked like he might score. He's dragged down at the 1. That just means that the big fella under center gets pushed into the end zone. He probably got there on his own. So Epinesa sets him up. Allen catches that. It's 19-3. Khalil Shakir makes the catch, shakes a tackle, puts on the brakes, and he's got speed. You're not catching him. A 54-yard touchdown for him. Bills are rolling. Cook not done. Burst up the middle. Part of a 216-yard day for Brady. Wonder if his phone's going to ring down in LSU. 40-9. Bills get the victory. Tim Hasselbeck back with us. AFC East standings, as we've established. New England started the day in the lead. They got the victory, so their winning ways continue. They have a last place schedule. They're taking advantage of it. But really good teams beat bad teams by a lot. What do they show you?
Look, I think, look, you and I have talked about it. Vrabel's a really good coach.
Yep.
He hires a really good offensive coordinator. And so now what you need is a quarterback that's the real deal. Drake Maye is the real deal. And so, you know, a lot of times you look at teams that you feel like they're on the cusp. Maybe you're like, nah, you know what? Maybe they're a year away. Put Drake Maye and Josh McDaniels' offense for another season. They need to make the talent around them better. Look, they're playing really well. Yes, against, lesser competition at times, but I think they're going to build confidence. The quarterback is going to be a superstar. They have an offensive coordinator that's coached in really big games. And I think Mike Vrabel is as good as any coach in a game in terms of coaching a game. So, look, I think they're a challenge for everyone. They beat Buffalo in Buffalo.
Right. They also don't have to play Kansas City. They don't have to go to Pittsburgh. They don't have to play Philadelphia. That's on Buffalo's schedule. Their schedule is a last place schedule, but they're benefiting from it. On the other hand, Buffalo, I think we all presume, would get right, whether it was against Carolina or somebody else. I think Cook's a big part of that. I mean, do you share that sentiment that a lot of it starts, as much as Allen's great, just handing it off to 4 makes a lot different?
Sean McDermott's was begging for that for years. Joe Brady, who, for Bills fans, LSU doesn't call too quickly, has done a very good job of being patient with the run game and making it an emphasis to have it not be where Josh Allen is the leading carrier for them. That was the case for a while in Buffalo. They still rely on him. Got to have a time they're going to put it in 17's hand. But I think the more you can call runs where he's not the design runner, the more balance the offense is going to have, the harder it's going to be to defend him, and the better it is for them in the long run.
We got to go, but looking way down the road, the fact that New England has that win over Buffalo at Buffalo, I mean, how much does that fuel them, knowing that they sort of have that trump card at the moment?
Well, and I think Vrabel's going to lean right into it, so I think it's going to help them quite a bit.
All right, more to come next. Offense clicked in the second half for Green Bay, thanks to the guest we visited with earlier, Tucker Kraft. The defense got after Aaron Rodgers as well in the second half, and look at the burst from 1 in the pink cleats. Micah Parsons asked afterwards about going after the guy you see him sacking, and that little exchange right there, Aaron Rodgers.
I would say there was 2 instances where I was like, this is the Rodgers, that in the beginning of the game, that pass to Keon. And I saw it, but Keon didn't. He's thinking the ball's going out of bounds or something, like anything, like a throwaway. And it was like a poetry throw, and I just saw it just catch. I thought that was one of the craziest throws I've seen in a long time. And then the one where I was like hawking him down, and I was like this close to getting on. And then he was like, I heard the crowd. I was like, that's some right there. I was like, because I'm going, so I'm like, crowd, shh. So he's like, I was like, I never even heard of a QB saying that. So he's great to play. And he told me to buy his house. You know what I mean? So, I mean, Raj is Raj, but I'm just happy we got the win.
I mean, Micah is a phenomenal player. I think everybody knew, who we were getting when we made that trade for him. So I think the most surprising thing for me is just the way he is every day at practice. The player you see out there on the field on Sundays is the same player at practice, where we're trying to have to tell him to ease up sometimes and stay away from me at times, because he's always hunting, trying to get those sacks and trying to win every rep. So I think it's one of those things we just got to keep going. But we knew what type of player he is, and just trying to go out there and be our best, and him doing that as well.
They lead. The Bengals are in control, seemingly, up 14. But now in the fourth quarter, very early fourth, Breece Hall, his first touchdown of the year. Aaron Glenn says, let's go for 2. 2-point conversion. Fields steps up, rolls. Can he get there? He can. So it's a 7-point game. 12 minutes to go. Where's Jamar Chase? Right there. 12 grabs, 91 yards. And then later in the drive on 2nd and goal, Chase Brown plows in and just gets to the line. And so it's a 2-touchdown lead again. 4th and 1 at midfield. Fields has his man, it's Jeremy Ruckert. A first down gain and more of 24 yards. Then it's Hall, who again had his first touchdown of the year just earlier. Now he's going touchdown crazy into the red zone, stays in bounds, barely into the end zone. And the modern game says, let's go for 2 so that you can win it with a touchdown. Again, it's Fields improvising, keeping the play alive. As he goes down, Isaiah Davis, initially they say no. Upon further review, they reverse the call, as you'll see. There's the ball across the line, just barely, but that makes it a 6-point game. So if this Jets defense can give the ball back to the offense, you never know. 3rd and 10. Joe Flacco stepping up and sacked. And so the Jets have the ball back, play action. Fields, this time he's got a clean pocket, able to deliver on time to Arian Smith. And now on 1st and goal, it's Hall, and he's going to pass, but he realizes I can't. Then he says, the heck with it, I'm going to try, and it's Mason Taylor, the rookie from LSU. Another look at this as he floats it up. Defender's back is turned. Incredibly, the Jets are in position to take the lead. You'll recall earlier this year they did that on the road against Tampa Bay, but then a drive beat them at the gun. Here on 4th and 9, Flacco's pass is broken up, which means the Jets have roared back for a victory inside an elated Jets locker room.
When it counted, you stepped your up and you make offense 500. 254 rushing yards. Man, I love this group. And man, from here on out, grit. Because I told you during the offseason, man, we have to create an advantage. We did. But you showed all the grit in the world to win this game. Let's have a good flight home. Have a great week, man. I love this group, man.
So the Jets erase a 15-point deficit, and Aaron Glenn gets his first head coaching victory, the 4th head coach since 1950 to pick up his first career win with a comeback of that magnitude. As for the quarterback, I mentioned this, Justin Fields threw for 244 yards. You saw the improv. You saw the want to keep plays alive and make plays that help get this team the victory. He reflects on what was a emotional week.
I'm gonna get pretty vulnerable right here, but this week I kind of, I found myself in my closet crying, on the ground, laying down, not because of the hardships, not because of the troubles. I felt like, I was built to handle that, and I was put in place to handle this situation, but I was just praying over and over and over again, just one win.
Good reminders all around that these are human beings at the core of all of this that we talk about. Well compensated and all of that, right? Of course, I understand. But human beings living their real life, not a fantasy team. Congrats to the Jets for the victory on a very difficult day for their friends.